The simplicity of Grey Quartz countertops and the visual smoothness that it provides makes it beautiful and suitable for any design style. Getting the look of designer quartz countertops out of plywood, that's on today's Thrift by Design. Welcome back to Thrift by Design. Let's begin by dusting off our surface. I have another video where I show the construction of the countertop if you'd like to check that out. Otherwise, this video is entirely on the finishing process. So first step, get all the dust off of your surface. The next thing we're going to want to do is to apply this Minwax sanding sealer onto our entire surface. And the reason why we're using this product first is because soft woods tend to grab anything you put onto them kind of in a blotchy sort of way. So that wouldn't be good for the particular look, the smooth look that we're trying to achieve. So let's put this on first. It doesn't have to be pretty. It's just a sanding sealer. It's just to make sure that our stain doesn't catch weird. A 3-inch chip brush, $2. It's all you need. We'll be using the same brush for the stain. Ready, steady, go. Well, alright, we got through that. Next step is to let our sealer dry an hour. And it'll set and dry in about that much time, and then we can come in and get it smooth again. The sealer will have raised the grain, and it'll feel kind of fuzzy and hairy in areas. So this is going to get it back down to a smooth surface, which is going to be ideal for the look that we're going for. Now I'll just say that what we're going for is an essence of a quartz, beautiful gray quartz. We're not trying to faux this to look like a quartz countertop. We want to keep some of the characteristics of this beautiful wood, but walking in and working around it and being around it, we want to feel the essence of a stone, and that's really what we're going to achieve here. But we can't unless we have a really smooth surface. So that's what this step is going to do. So you know, just you'll know when you feel it. It has to feel really, I mean, if you have the patience for it, you want this to feel like glass when you touch it. It should feel really, really beautifully smooth. So take your time. A 400 grit sandpaper should do it. And if you need to do a 600 after this, you may. And you know, once you're happy with it, we'll apply our stain. All right, now we're doing our staining. Yay, finally. I'm going to recommend this Valspar one coat exterior stain and sealer in a semi-transparent consistency. It's you know, I went and I looked through a bunch of varied products, and this is the one that for our purposes is going to be the best, because it not only is a one-step product, meaning we won't have to layer anything else on top of it, we won't have to seal it, but also it offers a wonderful color wheel. And the color that I chose is cottage gray. And the reason why I chose this gray is because it's a complex, beautiful gray. It's not a basic gray. It's not just black and white. It's not a blue gray. You know, I love blue grays, but in this situation, it's not an industrial space, so I didn't want it to be cold. And the cottage gray gives me the closest to a color that I use in stone a lot, and that is the Lagos. And what I like about the Lagos is that it is a very complex gray. What I mean by that is that you can see shades of moss and shades of lavender in this gray. So anyway, pour a little bit into a container. We're going to reuse our 3-inch chip brush and just start applying it. Don't be afraid of it. It's not going to do anything strange. It's water based, so if it gets on anything, you can get a rag with water, and I'm using a sock that doesn't have a pair anymore as my rag. And anything that I get it on, I'm just gonna wipe it right up and continue. One of the ways that you can save money and perhaps help the planet out a little bit is by reusing products. Containers, for example, this little Greek yogurt container. I once I got done with my yogurt, I could have pitched the bucket, but you wash it and you can use it for things like this. And a little bucket like this, a little container, as small as it is, this is like a 14 ounce, I think. If you buy it at the paint store, it'll cost you about $2. So that's instant savings right there. And for rags, you could buy a bag of rags. They're about $10 for the small one. Or you can use, an old t-shirt. In my case, because I don't need a big rag, I'm using a little sock that doesn't have a pair anymore. So, small savings, but cumulatively, over the long haul, we're saving some bucks. And, the fewer things we send to the landfill, the better off the planet. Alright, so we're going to continue this application in this kind of directional of the grain. And if you get it on anything, I didn't take out my faucet because it came with a metric system of bolts and hoses and things that I didn't want to mess with again, because it was a real chore getting it installed. So anything that gets on it, I'll take my little sock with water and clean it right up. Okay, let's get this done. And here is our completed first coat. Now let's do it again for our second and final stain application. We are applying this second coat in a similar fashion to our first, except that on this coat I encourage you to do a bit of a crosshatch. That is, go in the direction opposite of the grain, so that we can fill in those stubborn little areas that aren't catching the stain uniformly as we would like it to. Before you move away from a crosshatch, follow through with one more pass in the direction of the wood to keep your finish consistent. It's already starting to look really good, isn't it? Just, it's a process. It takes a little bit of time, but take your time and really look at the finish as you're applying it. Make sure you get the undersides and just keep it consistent. Anywhere that looks shy, you can always come back and add a little bit more. This stain wants to dry relatively quickly, so in a small window of time, you'll be able to give it several passes. Anywhere that looks shy, you can come in with your brush and just add a little bit more, just until you reach a consistent look and there's no blotchy areas, no shy areas. Everything just looks like it got a little bit of stain. Once you're done, you can step back and enjoy the visual of your masterpiece. Thank you for joining me for this quartzified plywood countertop episode of Thrift by Design. Enjoy your new countertops, and I hope to see you again next time.